Hello, viewers. Atheist Alliance International has just announced its advisory council. And I have one of our new advisory council members with me today. She is Shirley Rivera, president of atheistpr.org. O-R-G. Hello, Shirley.
Hi, John. How are you? I'm doing great.
I'm fine, and I'm supposed to say, how the devil are you? Yes.
The devil.
You're beating me. Have you read my script? You're beating me to it.
I'm better than the devil.
Right. Now, Puerto Rico is a very religious island, isn't it? So if you were raised there, how did you escape being indoctrinated?
It is hard because in Puerto Rico, the culture is religious. Like everything that we celebrate is religious. Everything that we do is religious. The way that we cheer as a family or as a friends, everything has to be with religions. Now things have been changing. Since the 80s of Puerto Rico has been very militant in the island, especially on the media and television, radio, and social medias. But still, the religion is stuck in our government too, and it's something that it looks like a theocracy sometimes. We have the government sponsorship religious activities, and it's kind of like, there's no way you can get out of that, because you can lose friends, you can lose your job, or you just can miss your reputation because it's something super bad that you don't believe in God. How I escape? I think my family is one of the things that, it was just the perfect ingredients to make this recipe. Because my mom and my dad never go to church. They don't go to church.
Oh.
My dad, I never see him religious at all. My mom grew in a mission board evangelical church, but then when she kind of became adult, she stopped going. And by the time that I live with them until today, they never step in a church. So my grandmothers, they are kind of like Santeria, so they believe in santos, they believe like in this African spiritual religions, so they are not evangelical or Christian. So I think that diversity in my family just make everybody respect each other, because we have people that are evangelical, we have Jesus witnesses, we have people that are Christian, but any of them go to church. So it's kind of like they believe in God, but they don't practice religion. So my parents, my dad, I don't think he liked church at all. I don't think the idea of go to a church, he think it's ridiculous, but he don't declare himself as an atheist. So he kind of like a deist, I will say, like he believe in God, but he don't practice anything. So that make them not that hard to kind of accept me as an atheist.
Yes.
But my mother, she was black. She's Afro-Caribbean. She passed away already. But she was kind of a person that don't go to church either. And she was pretty liberal for her age, I will say. But yes, and then my other grandmother, she's from Spain, but she lives in Puerto Rico. And she is Catholic, she say. But she kind of practiced like magic, this type of magic.
Oh, right. Yes.
So it's kind of like a mixed thing. So they don't have like a thing exactly they follow. Yes. Like this type of like evangelical, they just evangelicals or they just Catholics. So I think because Puerto Rico is super plural, a plural community from religion. So if you believe in something, you are fine. Doesn't matter. They respect whatever you believe. But if you don't believe, then it's kind of like, yeah, you're not good. But if you say you're Santera and you believe in Chango and you shake maracas and kill chickens and drink the blood, you believe in something, and that's totally fine. But she believes in something. But if you don't believe in any of those crazy stuff, then is something wrong with you.
Whoa, yes. Well, that sounds like a very interesting upbringing. You were lucky not to be in a devout family in such a religious country. But I'm alarmed to hear that it's not very secular. It appears that if you want to get elected or become a teacher or a policeman, you've got to either be believer or pretend to be a believer. Is that the case?
Yeah, yes. So, for example, when I was in college, I was in a Christian college. In university, we have religious classes, we have Christian faith classes. But I was lucky again because my professor, it was an ex-priest. So he withdrew from the Catholic Church. Yeah, he withdrew. And he never married. I think he was traumatized or something. But he was agnostic. And he really say, I'm agnostic and I don't believe in church anymore. And I don't have proof that God is real. So if you want to tell me that God is real. So I'm like, that's kind of when I kind of put my ideas all together. Because I knew that I didn't believe in God. It was irrelevant, honestly. That I don't have this trauma that, oh my gosh, God is not real. I never had that momentum. No. So it flowed with me.
That's right. Yes. If you've been raised without God, you don't feel the need for a God, do you?
Exactly. So, I never was forced to go to church. I went to church by myself. So when I was like having 12 or 13 years old, I started attending a Christian, a Pentecostal type Christian church by myself, alone. I was walking by myself in my neighborhood, and I went to the church until they started criticizing me for my clothes because I was going in jeans, and they only want girls going in skirts. Then I changed the church. My mom found somebody that took me because my mom didn't want to take me to church. So I found a neighbor that took me to another church. But then when I turned like 14, 15, I just decided this is not my thing. They don't answer my questions. I was kind of annoying to them. I was asking, who created God? Who created God? So I was always asking that question, who created God? And nobody answered me. So I stopped going to church.
Well, it's very fair of you to have given them a chance anyway.
Yeah, I was curious. I was asking a legit question.
Yes. So what do you think about the church's response to the terrible disaster, the hurricane a couple of years ago?
Oh my gosh, they kind of disappeared from earth. It's like anybody found them. Hurricane Maria hit us by this time of the year. It's like 3 years now. It came in September, and it was category 5, but when it touched down Puerto Rico, it reduced to cat 4, which is still bad. It's horrible. So we had about almost 4,000 deaths associated with the power off because a lot of people were connected to things and flooding and things like that. So we have almost 4,000 deaths that the government hides. So by that time, any of the non-church make any type of charity or distribute supplies or at least take people to churches to keep them safe. Nothing. They even didn't work as a refugee for people, even for their own people of their churches. Really? A lot of people lost their houses, and pretty much most of these people went to public school to get refugee, which is, I believe that maybe churches are more safe because they are kind of,
stone.
Yeah. So the church didn't show up at all. And people start notice this, even religious people. I kind of have the conclusion that some of the people realize the church doesn't have any purpose. Because even if be religious, you can put it on the side and you can keep church as a community place, a place that you can gather, and a place that you can find compassion and you can find empathy. It doesn't work for that either, because when the people most need help, most need support, compassion, they didn't show up. They didn't show up. They didn't say anything.
So they're very good at taking and not so good at giving.
Yes. And this is one of the things that, like, the church, like, we have mega churches in Puerto Rico, mega church, evangelical mega churches. I think the numbers say like 30% of the people now are Catholics, and now the rest are becoming evangelicals. So people are left behind Catholic church because all the pedophile thing and all the but people are going to a stream thing, because I think evangelicals are kind of like more fanatics and bigotry and things like that.
Yeah.
And Catholic Church, they do things wrong, right? But has a terrorist organization, they still not making these people that extremist. So they are more formal. They have like a mass. They go there. Everybody say the same thing 100 times and go home. But these people kind of get into people's emotion. Evangelicals go to people's emotion, play with people's feelings, play with people's if they went through something, they use that to kind of make you feel bad. Like if you're a widow and your husband passed away, that they're gonna continue victimizing you and this and this and this and giving there, and then and that's how they get the people. They kind of like use your whatever you're hurt for. They use that to catch you, and they're disgusting. And then the Catholic Church is different on that. The Catholic Church is more like individualist, I would say. Like, everybody, of course, they have a lot of money. People that go to Catholic Church, they are pretty much rich, all of them.
Yes.
That's why they survive. But in Puerto Rico, and you have to mention that the Catholic Church declared bankrupt. So Puerto Rico Catholic Church, the big thing, they declare in bankrupt after the hurricane, and they get a couple lawsuits, not because pedophile, not because rape and things like that. They got in bankrupt because they didn't want to pay to the teachers. The Catholic churches have schools and they have teachers, and they didn't want to pay their retirement. So all these teachers lost to the Catholic Church.
Yes.
So now they are paying all those things. So they declare in bankrupt right after to not pay to the teachers, but they still in bankrupt because they pay all these legal fees and things like that. And I think it was a way to protect the church. But that's raise the question, why a church can declare bankrupt? Then the Catholic Church are a business. Only business declare themselves as a bankrupt.
Absolutely. And they should be paying taxes in that case.
Exactly. So they can declare bankrupt and stay away for pay whatever they have to pay, but they cannot pay taxes. They are a business then. They are a business that don't pay taxes.
Yes. So again, they want to take and not give.
Exactly. Because right now they use the capital 7. That's how you call bankrupt. Chapter 7. Sorry.
Yes.
In Spanish, it's capítulo. So it's chapter 7, which is being bankrupt. They did that, I truly believe, because first they don't have money, and second because they really don't want to pay to this teacher. So these teachers work there for the church. This is no nuns. This is women look like me. They are just teachers. They work for a Catholic school.
Yes.
And say, we're not going to pay you the retirement. After they collect the retirement, and they say, no, we don't have money, no retirement for you. And all these teachers became all together. And they started protesting. They lost to them, and it was something very remarkable because you have all these teachers that devote themselves to the church, and now they feel all disappointed about they play with them. They play with 30 years of work, 40 years of work, and that was one of the things when people start criticizing the church, the Catholic Church, and everybody was happy. Oh yeah, but now all the people became evangelical, which is worst.
Yes. Well, you can't have thousands of teachers on your payroll who are contributing to their pension and then not give them it when they retire. That's bound to cause trouble. Listen, let's pretend I could give you a magic wand that you could wave over Puerto Rico with a sort of atheistic sprinkle of dust. What would you do with it?
I will remove all of them from the government. I will take their accounts so they don't sponsor any more politicians, because they are sponsorship politicians, and that's one of the things that we have. All these crazy laws and regulations, they are trying to pass projects against people because their religious beliefs, and the only way they do this is because they have money. They have money to do it, and Atheist doesn't have any money to do all these things. And I think I will disappear all of them.
Okay. Well, sounds like a good move, a vanishing act for all of the priests and pastors. Shirley, you've been fantastic. Thank you very much for this little
Thank you.
and welcome to our advisory council. We're very proud to have you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.